Hey guys, ArkhIce here, and today I wanted to do a ranking of all the Commandment units in the game, or the 10 Commandment units in the game, right? And yeah, I'm just ranking them from in different tiers, right? From SS to D tier. The only tier I probably will have in order will probably be SS, but other than that, I'm probably not gonna have any tiers in order, right? Before we jump into this and discuss this and rank all the 10 Commandment units, make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, and turn on that notification bell if you get notified when I upload. Now then, what we're going to do... Okay, so the first units we're going to start out with, Zelda and everything, right? Zelda's units are interesting, right? Because they're all really good for what they do, right? Because, like, Red Zeldris is a support type unit, right? And he's a really, really good support. He's really good for support for the demon teams. He is a ult gauge control unit. He stops, he restricts recovery stats with his one of his cards. And then, of course, his commandment makes it where you can move a card and take off a debuff, right? So, I'm going to start with Red Zeldris, right? And in all honesty, of all the different commandment units here, right? This is only for them. And this is only take into account them, not everyone else. Just how they do in accordance with each other versus each other, right? I'm going to put Red Zeldris up here in SS tier. Because Red Zeldris is just an amazing support unit, right? Blue Zeldris, however, he's a really good DPS, but as you will see, he doesn't crit a lot. You're going to need specific teams. You're going to need a Green Go-Through and a Laducial to make him go what he's supposed to do, right? And he's just outplaced by other units in the field for what he does. So I'm going to put Blue Zeldris in A tier. He's still a really, really good unit. A really, really good DPS. He's just outclassed by other DPSs in the field. And with him not critting this much and he's supposed to be a crit-based unit, yeah. Now we have the Pheasal, right? The new Pheasal is, honestly, he's a really good unit, right? And with his ult control, with his buffing, him making other commandment and such demon units really reliable, in accordance also with him helping, other really good units that are in the field, like Kyo and stuff and everything, and making Red Estarossa legitimately actually viable. He's really, really good for what he's supposed to do, which is supposed to be a support character, just like Red Zeldris, right? And he can and is ran on some of the best, like AM teams, right? So, in all honesty, I'm going to have to put, Fed Zeldris in SS tier. He's really good at what he does, right? And then we have the Drolls. Both of the Drolls are insanely good. They're insanely reliable. And they're good at what they do, right? Actually, I'm gonna put Pheasal just down the S tier, right? I was thinking about it. I'm moving down 1 tier, right? Because his attacking card, though it does a lot of damage, it's supposed to be a pure DPS card, and that doesn't do so hot when it comes to doing damage. So I'm moving down 1 tier. But for the Drolls, in all honesty, Blue Droll, he's an amazing taunt unit. He buffs stats, he's an amazing taunt unit, he petrifies, his commandment is really, really good for a lot of situations for the Sario team, the Assault Meliodas team. He's just a really good unit overall, right? Green Droll, I'm going to also put an SS here, right? And Green Droll is honestly... I would put him above the Blue Droll, but not above Red Zelda. Red Zelda, I'm going to keep it number 1. Blue Droll, Green Droll is really, really good, right? He disables buffs and debuff cards. He has a, it's a damage that does more damage per ult gauge. I forget, a detonate. He has a detonate damage dealing card that actually does a lot of damage. He seals your ultimates and stuff. Droll disables ultimates when they get their ult gauge for 2 turns, right? And he's just a really, really good unit, right? He's just really good. And his commandment, of course, like I stated, it just buffs so many different teams, right? Then moving on past the Drolls, because we put the Drolls where we want to put them, right? Let's go to the Molaska list. Now, Red Molaska, I'm going to put an S tier. Red Molaska is really, really good at what she does. What Red Molaska does is that, ignoring what her cards do and everything, what she is supposed to do is give you that extra few turns to stay alive, right? She's supposed to give you the chance to stay alive for extra few turns and do what you need to do. It's really, really good at different events, like Final Boss Escanor. She's really, really good there. Tower, she is top tier amazing in Tower. PvP, she's on some of the best Assault Meliodas teams, right? She's just really good at what she does, and what she does the best that she can do of her ability, and that's the best of everyone that's able to actually do it, right? Red Molaska is really good. But Blue Molaska, well, let's go pull up Blue Molaska, because it's she's not the greatest, right? Because she is basically a damage dealer that works around orbs, and she doesn't, and since AoE doesn't do that much damage, she doesn't do the damage she needs to do, right? And this Infect card's it's okay. This Detonate card can be pretty good, but at the same time it's not really. And then her passive requires ult gauge for everyone to have ult gauge, right, for it to be effective, and it's only 1% per ult gauge, so it's not insane, right? Blue Molaska's not the greatest. I'm honestly going to put it down here in B tier. She doesn't really have a... I'll put it on C tier. She's not the greatest, right? She's really not. Now the Derrieres, right? Blue Derriere. Blue Derriere's use is in PvP. She's basically the equivalent of Droll. You would use her instead of Droll, because with Droll's taunt, it's health-related stats, but her taunt, it's defense-related stats. So she's a really, really good unit to use in Assault Meliodas, or if you also want to use her on something like Sariel because of the other DPSs out there, so you don't take as much damage, she's able to tank better and everything. So in all honesty, for what she does, I'm going to put her in S tier. Because she removes buffs and stances, she has a ton of defense-related stats, right? She has the Green Droll passive, except it only activates one time, and you get to attack her twice for it to activate. But it's put on everyone, right? And her ultimate is just Amplify, and with you having a taunt card, you're guaranteed to get buffs whenever you need to get it, right? And use your Amplify ultimate, which is just with 3 buffs, still does like 200 to 300k, which is enough to get a guaranteed kill on people, right? So she's just an insane unit at PvP. But because she doesn't have that much use in PvE, I'm going to put her in S tier, right? She has use in PvP, but not PvE, right? Red Derriere. I'm also going to put Red Derriere in SS tier. Because Guild Boss, she's insane in. She is insane in multiple final bosses. She was used in the old tower format a lot, which on global, we're still going to be getting all those old towers and stuff, so she's still usable in tower. And of course, she's just an insane damage dealer, right? She's insane in demons. She's really, really good in Crimson Demon, one of the literally the best damage dealer in Crimson Demon you can get. She's just an insane unit with all kinds of different uses in PvE. PvP, not so much, but PvE, she has insane amounts of uses everywhere, right? And then you have Green Derriere. Green Derriere is a good unit, right? I'm gonna put her in A tier. She's good at what she does, right? She's a big damage dealer, and she works really, really well with Modspeeds because of her passive. Her passive makes it where you can't get ult gauge. I think it's by moving. It's either by moving or using, because she's the complete opposite of Modspeeds, right? By moving skills. So if you move a skill, you can't get ult gauge, right? She has a depleting ult control move, and then she fills her ult gauge out. But her ultimate being amplified, she herself has no way to get buffs. So with her having no way to get buffs, her amplify will only do the normal amount of damage it would without having that extra amount of amplify on there, right? So in all honesty, she's A tier. She's good at what she does, except for the ultimate. So yeah. Now we move on to the Gallons, right? Blue Gallant is a insane unit, right? Like, he's honestly really, really good, but he's fallen off a lot, right? He's clearly is still able to be used very, very efficiently with the Assault Meliodas team, but even then, though, he's not the greatest unit, right? Like, Blue Gallant's one of my favorite units in the game. He is, and Blue Gallant's team that we used when he came on Global is still my favorite team to date today. Red Gother, Red Arthur, Blue Gallant is still my favorite team to date. But I gotta admit that he's fallen off a lot, right? He doesn't have a lot of uses. He can be good in PvP, but there's just a lot of better commandments you can use on Assault Meliodas team. There's just yeah, doesn't have much use. But Red Gallant, though, I'm gonna put Red Gallant A tier for one reason, right? He's not good in PvP, and in PvE he has one use, and that use is for Crimson Demon, right? Because Crimson Demon, they use red units for hell, right? And if you use Gallant in the back, Gallant, what he does is boost all STR, I'm thinking of Tokon, all red unit stats, right? By 30%, right? Well, he doesn't boost them. He has red units ignore 30% of defense, right? It's basically a boost. And that's really, really good. Because it makes the Crimson Demon go by a lot faster because you're able to do a lot more damage more early on, right? So, yeah, he is a really good passive. It's really good in Crimson Demon, so I'm going to put him in A tier for that specific use. And then we move on to the Modspeeds. I'm going to put Green Modspeed in A tier. Because Green Modspeed is I'm going to put both of the Modspeeds in A tier. Because A tier is that middle ground where they can be used in PvP, they can be used efficiently in PvP, but there's a lot better units you can use. A tier with Modspeeds. Modspeeds can be used very efficiently, right? Especially if you combine the Modspeeds with something like Kyo. He's really, really good combined with him, and you can combine Kyo, Green Modspeed, and then you can use Red Molaska, or you can put Red Modspeed in that situation. Red Modspeed is also both Modspeeds are actually good for this. Really, really good when you use them with Assault Meliodas because of his passive. Because both Modspeeds, right? If you look at both Modspeeds, right? Both Modspeeds have a weak point card. One being AoE and one being single target. And combined with Assault Meliodas passive, which constantly puts debuffs on the enemy team, he just hits insanely hard and it's just a really good unit, right? So I'm going to put him in A tier. And then you have the Cirrhosis, right? I'm going to put Green Estarossa in S tier, right? Because he's insanely good. But I'm going to put Red Estarossa in A tier. Red Estarossa is in the same boat as in the Modspeeds, where with Assault Meliodas and now with, Pheasal Aldris, he can be insanely good, especially when you get guaranteed debuffs on the enemy team. And combined with the fact that he gets buffed by debuffs, he's just insanely good when you have a bunch of debuffs on the enemy team. Which happens after a turn or two in PvP. And with Assault Meliodas team, you can very easily survive with something like Blue Derriere doing a defense-related taunt and stuff, right? So he can be insanely good in PvP. But other than that, he has not much uses, right? And then you have the Glox, right? The Gloxinias. Gloxinia is a pretty good unit, right? Especially this one, right? So, Red Gloxinia is the better of the two. Because, number one, Red Gloxinia disables rank 2 or rank 3 skills. And then Gloxina also has a really, really good healing card. And of course, his passive, when a skill ranks up, he gets ultimate gauge, right? So, and plus also, he has a single target ultimate that, does more damage per debuff. What does Assault Meliodas do? Put a lot of debuffs in enemy team. Along with Zelda in the back, Red Glox is going to be doing a lot of damage and being support at the same exact time. He plays both roles really, really well. So I'm going to put Red Glox in S tier. But Green Gloxinia isn't the best. He has a attack disable AoE card, right? It's just like Red Gother's attack disable card. Then of course he has a single target bleed card. And then he increases his own defense related stats by 5% for every ally alive. And then he switches around to attack related stats when an ally dies. And he has to be in the front for it to work, right? Or when he comes out, it has to work. So I'm going to put Green Galaxian in B tier. Same tier as Gallant. Honestly, I'm going to move Blue Molaska up to B tier. Because she's like the same as Glox. I got to move her up, right? And then we're finally in the last of the 10 commandments. The one who doesn't have a commandment in the game. Frowgen. Just note, we don't have a Grey Road unit yet. Karen Cross, what are you doing? Where's my woman? Where's my girl? Where's she at? Where's the little best woman in all of history of Karen Cross? She's gonna be the strongest commandment in the game. Grey Road. Anyways, so Frowgen's, right? Green Frowgen's fallen off. Right? If you were here for the Frowgen meta, which was with Lost Vein and everything, Green Frowgen was insanely good if you had a lot of dupes in him, right? Because it made it where you couldn't ult rush. And the meta at the time with Lost Vein was ult rushing. And if you wasn't able to ult rush within the first 2 turns, it gave your opponent time to fully ult rush and build up, while you couldn't yourself ult rush and kill like you needed to, right? So Green Frowgen at the time was insanely good. But nowadays, in all honesty, he's B tier. He's bottom. If I had to rank him like actual ranked in order, he would be the bottom of everyone. Or yeah, no, he would be I would put him at the bottom of everyone, in all honesty. He's just not that good today. Today you don't need to ult rush. Ult rushing is a viable strat, but you don't need to ult rush today, right? He can be good on Assault Meliodas, but it's like the other well CC units. With like level 90 and SA 5 being increased and everything, they have gotten cucked out of increasing a lot of stats. Because a lot of the top tier units you see in PvP have more CC than a lot of these big CC well units, right? So Frowgen and Luduciel and all these other CC units are just getting cucked by all these increases in CC. So he's just getting nerfed and worse, yeah. But Blue Frowgen, I'm gonna have to put Blue Frowgen S tier. He's really, really good in 3v3s. He's good in Guild Wars. He's good in Final Boss, right? In a few of the Final Bosses. He is insanely good in a lot of like the disaster battles and everything, like specifically the Mark II Valenti fight, which will be coming back in the future. Him, Darier, and Sariel are insanely good in that fight. That's the team that me and my friend used, and we cleared Extreme like it was nothing. Then, of course, in Tower, he's insanely good in Tower. He's really good, because if you didn't know what Blue Frowgen allows you to do, whenever he dies, you want to keep him at low level, right? The lowest level that you can while having his passive activated. When the hero dies, remove all debuffs from everyone, and fills their ultimate gauge to max. That's insanely good. And along with a taunt card that reflects, this reflect card, along with a red Molaska, can be insanely good because it forces the enemies to target him and give you some cheesy strats to win, right? So yeah, he's just insanely good. I'm gonna put him in S tier. That's where I think he belongs. But yeah, this is where I would rank all the commandment units, right? And the only one that's in order is SS tier. I'm gonna move Red Dairy up there. This is SS tier is the only one I think is ordered, and then S, A, and B are not ordered at all in the slightest. But yeah, this is how I would rank all of them versus each other and everything. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.